Hey, it's the Rooster, Bobby Leach for the TimesWeekly.com alongside my partner here, Big Tone.
How's everybody doing out there? It's Big Tone.
I don't think he's in a good mood today. You should be in a great mood, man. Your boys won again.
Let me tell you something. I was a little worried the first two possessions when Mr. Fusel and Mr. Colangelo put the ball in the grass.
I wasn't worried. I was actually thinking they were just baiting them. You got to think Lincoln Way East at this point is like a cat. Playing with the mouse. Like, oh, hey, look, what will happen if we fumble at our own 5-yard line? I wonder if they'll score. I mean, it's incredible how good they are. It really. Let me tell you something though. The quarterfinal matchups and the quarterfinal games, with the exception of Lincoln Way East game, were phenomenal. And I'm not downgrading Lincoln Way East performance because they had a great performance, 40-10, but. All the games came down to the wire, man. I mean, it was such an exciting weekend this weekend. If you're a high school football fan, you had to be going crazy, like to decide which game to go to, and then to find out that all the games played down to the final minute of the game, in some cases overtime. But I got to see Neuqua Valley. We saw Downers Grove North and Bennett. I got to see Neuqua Valley and Waubonsie Valley. You were at Battle of the Valleys over there. You were over at Lincoln Way East and Lamont and Oak Forest. Lamont had a big comeback. Andy was out there and grabbing Lamont for us, and Brian Jones over at JCA, another big game. So let's get right down to nitty gritty. We're going to start, I think, in 5A, and we're going to work our way up.
Down to the nitty gritty.
So let's talk about Lincoln Way East and Lincoln Way West and JCA. I got to give you props, dude. You called it 21-20 last week, and you were dead on.
Did I say it could go either way? And sure enough, it could have went either way, because JCA, you got lucky. You missed it. They missed it by that much.
That's all time. Football's a game of inches.
That
a game of inches, dude. So
you got lucky.
So football's a game of inches. So what? It wasn't luck. It was a great football game.
I tell you what, a couple guys on your defense though really stepped up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stepped up on it. He said, "Man, that stop that they got on the goal line."
Yep.
That
was a career stop, man. I mean, that's something that they're not going to forget.
What's their quarterback? Hemerson or something like that? I was doing some research on the thing. He had 2 interceptions.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, it was just a great football game. When you get to this level, and when you're playing for a quarterfinal and a semifinal, I mean, every team that's here right now, they're good. They're real good, and there's a reason why they're there. And Lincoln Way West, we talked about this last week. We said, hey, don't be surprised if Lincoln Way West wins this football game because they were that good. And you know what? They showed it. They proved it against Joliet Catholic. I got to give props to the coach because, in overtime, the game is now 21-20. JCA goes in, scores a touchdown. They score first, get the extra point. They're up by 7. Mm-hmm. Lincoln Way West comes back. They score in overtime.
They had a nice setup where they took Levante
Blackfield.
Yeah, they stuck him out to the outside. Yeah. They said that fooled everybody, even the guys in the concession stand. They fooled everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got to be honest with you. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't like to second guess, but hey, that's why we got a show. We second guess.
Can I tell you something? Gutsy call.
It was a gutsy call. You know what? I got to say, I'd have gone for it. I'd have done the same thing he did. Personally, you got JCA. You're at home. You got the storied program. You're facing your biggest giant, your biggest roadblock in the playoffs over the last couple of years. You got a chance to beat them, and you need to gain, 3 yards.
They gained 2.5.
Right. I mean, I'm telling you, I had gone for it too. Mm-hmm. The only thing I think I would have done differently is I would have put the ball in Blackfield's hand. That's I would have made sure that he touched the ball, that he was our go-to guy. Mm-hmm. Because he's just one of those kind of kids that have a knack for you ask him to get 3 yards, I think he could get it. I mean, it was a well-designed play, but it was just a great comeback from Lincoln Way West. So it was down 14-0. Lincoln Way West was trailing 14-zip to JCA, and before they started dialing it in there in the second half, and you just got to say that the Warriors are right there. I mean, we've been saying that the last couple of years.
They're going to be there now. They got it. I mean, taking Coach Mark's place, whoever their coach. I don't know their name.
Yeah,
coach.
Yeah, but in either case, though, he's
something.
I mean, Vanderkoy, right? Yeah, he left. Right, he's at Lincoln Way East. He's the athletic director there now. But I mean, in any event, what a great contest, and now that sets up a monumental replay of last year's 5A state championship. You got Montini going to Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, we better bring an extra battery for that one, boy. I tell you, that's like last year. We better bring an extra battery.
Yeah, I think the first thing that we have to point out is, hey guys, let's try to keep them under 50 points this time. I mean, that would be a 20-point improvement over last year when they were into the 70s. But Montini found themselves in a shootout. Well, not a shootout, but a real tight game themselves. Going up to Marion, up Woodstock Marion, who. I think a lot of people, including myself, I thought Woodstock was a better football team, and I thought they were going to beat Montini, but Montini just won't go away. I mean, they've won 3 straight titles, and they just won't die.
Could be the
they won't go away. So Montini could be back in it, but the IHSA did something I think was pretty smart. They made sure that both these guys were in the same bracket, so you wouldn't see those two down state. But man, I'm going to tell you, next week when this game gets off, or this week when this game gets off. This is going to be a big time game, and I got to tell you right now. I mean, my feeling is, Montini's probably got the edge. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Ty Isaac's out. I mean, if Isaac doesn't play, Montini's got this game.
Is he out, or is he just out for the?
I don't know. I mean, they say reports said that he re-injured his groin. Or he had a groin injury and re-aggravated it. So, I mean, Isaac being not in the mix, without Ty Isaac on the football field, you guys will not beat Montini without Ty Isaac. I mean, no different than if you didn't have Paul Westerkamp on the field last year for Montini, they wouldn't have beat you in the state championship. There are players out there.
Man, Jordan Westerkamp was a good guy last year.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan Westerkamp is but I don't know. I mean, bottom line is did I call him Paul?
You called him Paul.
Whatever.
That's all right.
Hey, you know what? Though, because I don't really care. Whatever. The bottom line
is
he's a Westerkamp, and yeah, I did call him Paul, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. Well, see, that's the impression. I mean, Ty Isaac, you can't forget. Can't forget his name. Tyler Reese, can't forget his name.
That's why we tape.
Mike Ivelo.
That's why we tape our show and we can edit it.
yeah. This is true. We can edit it. So, in any event, this is going to be a fantastic semifinal. Every one of these semifinals are going to be fantastic games, but this one, especially because the two met in the state championship last year, and and they've met each other in the state championship 2 of the last 3 years, and Montini has won every single time. So, Montini's got an edge going into this. Joliet Catholic, without Ty Isaac though, I don't know. I mean, I love Ivelo. I think he's he's great, but he's a bruiser, man. I mean, he's the guy that's going to get you to 3, 4, 5 yards a pop. He's not the game breaker that Isaac is. And without Isaac on the field, even with Tyler Reed's healthy, Ivelo healthy, I don't know. I mean, I don't give them a whole lot of hope. What do you think the game's going to be with seeing he called the game last week 21-20 was right on the nose. What do you think it's going to be this week, Coach Stone?
Rudy Rudiker, Coach Sharp, Joliet Catholic Academy. I think you guys are going to take this game. Why? Craig Stelz. Craig, their quarterback. I don't know if I said the right name as his last name. I don't really follow the guy's quarterback.
Go ahead.
He's going to be a key.
Slowick,
there you go. See, he called Paul Westerkamp. I called him Craig Stelz. We still know the quarterback.
I don't forget Craig Slowick's name because here, look. At the end of the day, I cut him when he was in like 8th grade. So.
Oh well, there you go. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Play with a chip. And
I still have nightmares about it now. I think to myself, I had Slowick, I probably would have won the championship.
Yeah, play with a chip on his shoulder. Play with a chip on his shoulder. Craig Slowick. He's going to be able to move the ball. Okay, he moved the ball against Lincoln Way West, passing. Okay, Tyler Reitz, their offensive line. Then their defense. All right, they got a lot of pressure on the Lincoln Way West quarterback. I mean, they made crucial stops. Your corners were able to cover. They forced 2 turnovers, interceptions. Okay, Montini's a passing team. I've seen them. Okay, I've seen them.
Spread offense.
Spread offense. I've seen them week 2. You guys are going to win. Plus, you guys got the football gods in your favor. Okay, the football gods, they gave you a good seed. You played Elmwood Park, you played Tinley Andrew. Okay, you guys barely made it past Lincoln Way West. But there's still controversy saying that the kid made it, he didn't. Okay, it's you. You guys are going. All right, just to Champaign. All right, score. I don't know. I would ask the Rooster, but see, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like this. 21 you. 17 Montini. I'm telling you, your defense is going to step up. I can see it. I had a bad dream in my
bad dream calls it.
Bad dream in my sleep yesterday. Rudy Rudiger came to me and said, "What are you saying about Joliet Catholic?" He threatened me. Rudy Rudiger threatened me in my sleep. What's happening here? Okay, so I'm with you guys, man. And once Rudy Rudiger came, that's it. Joliet Catholic, 21. Montini, 17. You guys are going back to the dance.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with you, Coach Stone. I mean, I honestly, I'm not going to go against my guys. I mean, and they are my guys because I coached a lot of these kids. So, you know, that's why I call them affectionately my guys. You know, I mean, I'm a fan of guys that I've coached for. Obviously, you know, you try to be impartial in this business, and you can. But the fact of the matter is, I don't care what sports writer is out there telling you otherwise, unless they're just a cub reporter coming out of college. But anybody that's been in this business long enough become fans of the players based on their character, based on a lot of different things that go into it, their personalities, their ease to get the interview. You know, and Joliet Catholic has been fantastic to us. You know, but I'm going to tell you, get rid of all that kind of stuff. Just the fact that I'd like to see him win. You know, I like the underdog too, and I don't think there's many media guys that are going to pick him. I don't think a lot of guys are going to pick you guys.
It's the football gods. They set the table.
They set the table.
You guys are going.
You know what? I called it last year. I thought that Joliet Catholic. I didn't think Montini had a shot at beating that team when they had Malin Jones in that backfield as well with Reitz and Isaac. But again, a year smarter. I think that the fact that they lost as badly as they did to them, that's going to be motivation in and of itself. Mm-hmm. You know, Mamo Strong, you know, having a loss of one of their players, mm-hmm. you know, in the off season. I mean, there's so many things that come into this game, and you're playing at home. I don't know. I think, like Coach Tone said, this is going to be an overtime game. If you're going to win it, you're going to win it by a razor's edge. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to win. You know, I think this is going to be like a 2-point game, an extra point game. You're going to go for 2 and get it. They didn't. I mean, it's going to be something. You know, maybe a field goal, but this is going to come down to the wire. I mean, there's no way that.
No, it's not going to be a glass year. It's not going to be a blowout.
This ain't going to be a blowout.
It's not going to be a shootout.
It could be a shootout, but
I don't think they're going to score. I don't think they're going to score 110 points.
If Isaac doesn't show up, though. Big trouble. Big trouble for Joliet Catholic. If Isaac doesn't play and show up and play like he's, you know, at 100%, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, against Montini, I think Montini's going to have the upper hand. But in this case, I'm going to take JCA this week, just like you did. I'm going to call it. I think there's going to be a little bit more scoring in this game. But then again, I heard that we're supposed to get snow this week and it's going to get really cold. And that's not good for the California West spread offense that they run. You know, throwing the ball, windy, cold. I like our running attack. I like a running game. If the weather's nasty, the nastier the better for the Hilltoppers. I'm going to call Joliet Catholic winning this ball game somewhere along the lines of 28. I'm going to give you guys 28 or 29. Let's call it 29-27, a 2-point game. I think JCA is going to get an extra safety. There's something goofy going to happen there. So 29-27, I think it's a 2-point football game. I don't think either team is going to break into the 40s, but I could be wrong. I mean, I didn't think that last year in the state championship, and they combined for well over 100 points in that game. So I don't know, man.
You could run on Montini.
You can run on it, but you know, and the weather was really nice when they played each other at the beginning of that day. If you remember, it was nice and sunny, and it was relatively decent out, and there wasn't a ton of wind. The weather deteriorated as the day went on.
Yeah, and I caught a good cold that time. I don't want to talk about the weather.
So, but I think if the fouler the weather gets, if it gets cold and nasty and wet or any of that kind of stuff, I think that's a detriment to Montini. And you know, I don't know. I mean, so I'm going to call it with JCA. Let's move on to a different round. Let's go up to 6A. 6A, we had one team in 6A, or two teams in 6A, or one game in 6A that we follow. That was Lamont and Oak Forest. Oak Forest had the lead in that game. Lamont came back, won 21-14. They scored at the end of the game. They bled the clock. They just ran the ball, ate up clock, and you know, forced Oak Forest into a Hail Mary at the end of the game, and they batted it down. That was it.
Hail Mary was no full of grace that time.
Got to drive Oak Forest crazy though, man. They just can't get past Lamont. Lamont's throwing in their side, you know, and I think they felt like, hey, we got Lamont. Lamont back in the semifinals. Last time they were in the semifinals, they played Marion a couple years ago and didn't go well for them.
Nice to see Lamont back in the semifinals.
Yeah, it is, and we want to see Lamont get down there. Hopefully now. I mean, But this is going to be a big contest for them this week.
Crete-Monee, tough team.
Yep. I mean, so you're talking about Crete-Monee being, the 1 seed, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
So I don't know. I mean, this is like state championship quality, but you know what? All the semifinals are. I mean, you're going to face some powerhouse, and it's going to be 2 powerhouses going at it, and for the right to play downstate. And I don't know, man. I mean, Lamont has lived on the edge. Granted, it was a good game, good win against Oak Forest, but they fell behind Oak Forest. That's a conference team. I don't know, man. I like Crete-Monee in this.
I like Crete-Monee too. They're tough, defense tough, and they hit you. They'll hit you in the mouth.
They hit you in the mouth, and they're I mean, absolutely, athletic, another spread offense. I mean, but the running back's phenomenal. I mean, they've got a lot going for them. I mean, their defense is sensational. Their offense is very good. And, Lamont, I'm going to tell you right now, man, if you guys come out and play half asleep in that first quarter, could be 21-0 by the end of the first quarter. That's how good they are.
Yeah.
And I know Lamont's playing at home. Lamont's got the advantage, but don't kid yourself here. Crete-Monee, to me, is the team that's going to advance to the state championship. I just think it is. I mean, obviously I want to see Lamont get there, but I think Crete's going to pull this one out. I think this is going to be a pretty wide margin, too. I think this is going to be a 3-touchdown or better. I'm going to call the score on this game 48-20, Crete-Monee.
I don't think it's going to be that far of a spread. I think Lamont's got a pretty decent defense. I think we have Crete-Monee wins maybe 28-21. It's going to be about a touchdown, I think. I think they can hang with them, but I don't think they're going to beat them. Well,
28-21, that's if they show up and play defense. I mean, the bottom line is you got really great athletes at Crete-Monee, and they've got a great game plan. They've got an offense that's tons of misdirection in it. They can spread you out and throw the ball. It's a lot for any defense, So if Lamont's defense comes and gives their best effort, I mean their best effort, and they do their very best, this is a tight football game if Lamont's going to win the football game. And that's if they come up with their best. And again, the big X factor in this is how the weather. What's the weather going to be like? We know we're going to come into this deep freeze next week. It's supposed to snow.
Lamont generally a running team, right?
Right, Lamont. So if Lamont's a running football team, Crete-Monee can run the ball too. So I don't know, man. I mean, I still like Crete-Monee big here. I'm going to stick with my guns, 48-20. You're calling a little bit closer.
28-21.
28-21. So we'll find out next week. But neither one of us chose Lamont. So
sorry, Lamont.
Go figure. All right, let's move on to 7A. Lots to talk about in 7A. We'll start with what happened in the early afternoon at Bennett at Downers Grove North.
Bennett at Downers Grove North. Jack of all trades, the 3 jacks.
And let me tell you, Bennett had this game. Bennett was up 13-0. Bennett was, they were just taking advantage of North over and over and over. And then all of a sudden, North's got a block punt, and and that was almost a game changer. I mean, it changed. The momentum of the game. And momentum is so huge in the playoffs, especially in the quarterfinal game. They're playing at home, but they're not typically playing on a Saturday afternoon. But here, take a look. Here's the block punt that we were talking about. And it looked like, we didn't get a great camera angle on this because, the camera fouled the ball and then, whoop, it was a block. But it looked, judging by what we saw, it looked like, he just swallowed the ball up and just ran it in for an end zone. Here, take a look. And then, you see that block punt. Well, then after that, the momentum was there. North gets another score. You're thinking, holy cow, North takes the lead 21-20. And for the most part, Bennett had beaten them the entire game. Bennett's whipping up on, not whipping up on them, but Bennett had control of that game. And all of a sudden, in a matter of, minutes, it seemed like.
Mr. Momentum changed the sides. Huh?
Changed the sides. And then they got, then they get tacked on a field goal. And now you're talking about a 24-20 lead. North comes up with another big stop. The North defense was sensational, by the way. Fantastic defensive performance. And this is a very young team, so they'll be back. But North comes up with a stop. They get the ball back. They need a first down to run the clock out. Bennett's out of timeouts. They need a first down. They come up short, and Bennett gets the ball back with like a minute 50 left in the game. Minute 47 left in the game. And march the field. Get down to the, I don't know what it was, the 5-yard line. Yeah, 5, 6, 7.
Quarterback jack, pass it to receiver jack, and game over.
Yeah, and there was a big controversy over at the end of this game as to whether or not he was in bounds or not. Take a look. We slowed this tape down when we were looking at it. And it's not a very good thing to show you guys slowed down, but the fact is we did slow it down. His foot did definitely look to us like it was it.
Heck of a catch.
It was a heck of a catch. His foot was in bounds. He got 1 foot in before he got pushed out, but what a heck of a catch. This is the play that ended as the time expired and Bennett moved on. Take a look. So, Big Tone, outstanding! What a way to finish your season! What a heartbreak for Downers Grove North at home to give that play up. I mean, that happened. That was a similar play that happened to JCA a couple years ago to Peoria Richwood. You know, last play of the game, and again Bennett, comes out on top, and their Cinderella season moves on, but. Cinderella is about to get, she's about to get dumped, to put it nicely. I mean, Cinderella, her ride to the dance, she's out there hitchhiking now.
She's going to be thumbing for a ride home.
Yeah, she's going to be thumbing for a ride home because...
Don't ask what you wish for, you're going to get it. Mm-hmm.
Well, Bennett, the only great thing is Bennett's going to be close to home. They won't have a long walk.
And they get to play at the Illinois Benedictine College.
Yeah. And the reason we say that is Lakeway East. Lakeway East just... absolutely destroyed Edwardsville. I mean, there's nothing else to say. They dismantled Edwardsville like they weren't even, this was a 13 seed versus a 1 seed. Edwardsville beat East St. Louis, and Lakeway East tore them apart. Tom Fusel had one of his nights again where, as you call him, the human slinky or whatever. He just, they could not contain him, and when they did, contain him,
they couldn't tackle him.
They couldn't tackle him, right? So. I mean, they got a slow start though. You got, Coach Stone was texting me. I was at Nico Valley's game, texting me going, "Oh my God, they're putting it on the carpet. They're putting it," and he thought, "Oh man, might not be good." So you were losing some. So your boy, you lost faith in your own boys, man.
Something. This lame coach Big Tone is going to stop. Everyone told me I should tone it down, but I'm not going to tone it down. Okay,
tone it down.
I'm not toning it down.
Down.
Tom Fusel, Nick Colangelo put the ball on the ground. Okay, I was a little worried. I saw the football gods, the sky starting to part, cats and dogs getting together, and all that other good stuff. All right,
cats and dogs
getting along together. But something I've been saying all along since these playoffs started that the train, Colt Zolnar, he's the conductor leading the train. The train must have left the station without Mr. Colangelo and Mr. Fusel, because on the third drive, 69-yard run. I tell you, my buddy, the human slinky, Tom Fusel, went like this. His legs, I literally sprung, and he went like this. Saw that sand, he's gone. Okay, he was caught from behind. His dad wanted me to say this on air. Actually got caught from behind. Okay, Tom.
You're losing a step already.
You're losing a step already. You're only 18 years old, Tom.
Yeah,
You're only 18 years old. Now, if I get caught from a step behind, I'm 48 years old, out of shape, Big Tone over here. You're a young kid. You're going to NIU. You shouldn't be caught from behind. Okay, enough said. Defensively, unbelievable. Okay, unbelievable. Their running back, Marcus somebody, I think. I can't think of the running backs if I don't have the roster in front of me. I don't even care about the running because the running back didn't do anything all day. He decided to show up on the last drive when the third and fourth string defense was in there. Numbers I never seen before were in there, okay? I guess they might have been putting jerseys on the Frankfurt Blue or the Frankfurt Black kids, and they were in there playing, okay? Unbelievable. Kyle Langendorfer, Adam O'Grady, and company on that defense. Unbelievable.
Okay, well, that defense, now that you got done, he polishes you guys as like his prized car in the garage, polishing it away. Oh, this is so pretty, and but here's the thing. You can polish that car all day long. Unless you put gas in that car, it ain't going nowhere. And the fact of the matter is, coming into this semifinal, I don't think Bennett's got a shot in where. Okay? I mean, it's more likely going to be 90 degrees Saturday when they play each other than it is that Bennett's going to win this football game. There's no way. No way. I just want to cut to the chase because there's nothing to talk about Lincoln Way East at this point. The next game is going to be a state final game. That's where we'll see them next. This is going to be a blowout. Bennett's not even in the same category. No. I mean, when you look at a state championship quality team, and you look at Lincoln Way East, they are way up here, and it's not just their offense; it's their defense and it's their coach.
Special teams too. They're special teams.
So I'm going to call this game. Let me just I'll throw my score out there. I think it's going to be another big contest. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think they're going to be able to play a lot of kids there in the semifinal. Will get a chance to say I played in a semifinal game. So I think that they're going to get that score up there pretty quick because they want to try to get to the state championship healthy. The sooner they can get their guys off the field, the better, to give them that extra rest and not risk any injury. I think this game's going to be somewhere along the lines of 42-10. That's how I think. I think it's going to look just like it did against Edwardsville. I do think that Bennett's got some weapons, and I do think they're going to score. And I think they're going to score against their first squad. I don't think it's going to be, they're going to wait until garbage time to score. I do think that Bennett's going to get they've got some very good receivers. They've got a good quarterback, and this is a motivated crew. I mean, this is an experienced group of guys. They lost together last year as a 1-8 football team. This year, they finished the regular season 8-1, have ripped off 3 straight victories, and I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm really liking this Bennett football team, but are they in the same league as Lincoln Way East? Not on your life.
Woo-woo! Coach Zonar, heat up the train. You're going to Champaign. Okay? Chugga, 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 chugga. You guys, on the first week you beat Carmel. On the second week you beat Montini. Then you went to Providence, beat them too. Why not another Catholic school, guys? Why not another Catholic school? Bennett. I said last week, I don't care if King Kong, Megators, Godzilla, and Mothra are out there. Langendorfer, O'Grady, everybody will find a way to knock them on their... Okay, there you go. All right. The score is going to be, they played Edwardsville. Everyone was saying Edwardsville was going to give them a game. They came up 6 hours and laid the smack on their... Okay? On their boom. Bennett's going to, we're going to go to a nice college. We're all going to go to Lye. You guys are going to get on the bus. Chugga on the bus. Coach Zonar is going to lead the train. You guys are going to come in to Illinois Benedictine College. Nice college, by the way. Nice field. You guys should have fun. Destroying Bennett. Edwardsville is a better team than Bennett. You guys knocked them on their butt 40-10. I'm going to say 49-7. Lincoln Way East. You guys are it's going to be a running clock by the third quarter. I mean, Langendorfer company, everybody in that defense ain't going to give them nothing. You gave Edwardsville nothing. Maybe you gave their quarterback and their running back a headache because you hit him so gosh darn hard, okay?
All right, well, here's the thing, man. You got to smell, if you're a state championship, you got to smell blood in the water, and you got to make it happen. You just can't listen to a guy like this tell you how great you are, okay? Because I think you're a great football team. They think you're a great football team.
They know they're a great football team.
But you have to take advantage of it. And let me tell you something. If you let your guard down against Bennett, they will come out and beat you. Because Bennett's not a pushover. You're not talking about Joliet Central. You're not talking about Edwardsville. You're talking about a group of motivated young men who want to win just as badly as you do. And they've got some talent out there. So giving respect for a team that's in the semifinals that made it there and beat a very good Downers Grove North team last week, I got to tell you, Bennett has the capability to keep up with these guys, but they do. If Lincoln Way East comes in and plays the way they did in the first quarter against Edwardsville, because if you give field position to Bennett and you give them any sliver of hope, they're going to take advantage of it.
They gave field position to Edwardsville. Edwardsville had the ball on the 5. They couldn't score. On the 5 and couldn't score. Yeah. That's when they scored their first field goal. Had the ball on the 5. Okay, they slow started against Edwardsville, but once that train started rolling, they were rolling. Offensively, defensively, special teams. I mean, it was wild as the running back would try to cut the seam on the outside, and there was 4 or 5 guys smack, 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 smack. Okay, jack, wide receiver jack, smack, 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 smack. Quarterback jack, smack, 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 smack. Little Langendorfer's gonna get you. Okay, little Kyle Langendorfer, 5'6", 160 pounds, is gonna get ya. Okay, enough said.
Enough said. All right, so let's move on. So we think we both agree Lincoln Way East.
Oh, big.
And and maybe, just maybe, you'll get yourself a.
I want to say.
You're gonna get yourself a jersey.
I want to thank everybody who I gave $20 to say, "Hey, Big Tone, as I'm walking out. The check's in the mail, okay? Because they tell you something. Everybody who said hello to me made me feel real good in front of my son. So I'm letting you know, you guys give me your names and addresses, checks in the mail, okay? I'm not like him. All right, I'm not naturally where I just want to be loved. Okay, I don't want to be rooster, rooster. Everybody loves the rooster. No, that's not me. Okay, but I want to thank everybody. It was nice departing thing. It made me feel good on the ride home. So
yeah, well, that's good. I mean, and that's the thing. Let's move on though. Let's talk about. We got to talk about 8A too, and I got to go out and see a fantastic game. I mean, a fantastic game. I got to go see Neuqua Valley play Waubonsie Valley. And Waubonsie Valley hasn't been in a quarterfinal game since 1994. Neuqua Valley hasn't been in a quarterfinal game ever. And they were two powerhouses really going at it. Waubonsie Valley and Neuqua Valley are in the same conference, played each other earlier in the year. Neuqua came back in that game in the second half and won. And I got to tell you, Neuqua came back in this game in the second half and won. They were down 14-0. Waubonsie Valley came out in the first quarter, put up 14 points. They threw a bomb that was just, it was a great catch. It was a really great catch, but, he didn't get in the end zone. Threw a bomb and, gets down to about the 2-yard line here. Take a look at this catch, And by the way, this quarterback threw this ball into a 50-mile-an-hour wind. If you were out last night watching football, you know what I'm talking about. That wind that was whipping, this was in his face. This wind. So, he was able to get a receiver deep because nobody thought he would throw the ball deep, especially against that wind. But here, take a look at this kid's arm. Hits him right on the button. So, hey, that was a hell of a catch into the wind. But all of a sudden, and there were so many people there. I've never been to a football field. This is God's honest truth. I've never been to a high school football game that wasn't state championship put in front of it. I've never been to a high school football game that had this much excitement. There wasn't, there wasn't a place to fit another pair of sneakers or shoes anywhere. They were wrapped. They had to turn people away from the gates. They couldn't fit any more people into the stadium. People were outside the stadium. They were lined up outside the stadium on the fence. There were so many people there. It was fantastic atmosphere, fantastic. And I don't know. They did this tribute for Veterans Day. It was great with the kids. But it was just fantastic. I can't say enough about it. But here's the thing. Joey Radigan, I never got to see him play. This is the first time all season long I got to see him play, and I got to see him play in a quarterfinal game, and especially after Bolingbrook, because I wasn't at the Bolingbrook game last week. So Radigan comes out, and he's on this is a mud field. They did not have a turf football field. They had mud. It was sod, but it was slippery and mud, and you were sinking 2 inches. This was a mud bath. And Radigan just kept coming at you, and he kept taking the hits. And no, he didn't break off, magical 90-yard runs, but man, he is a bruiser. Holy cow, this kid doesn't go down. People are hitting him square, and he's bouncing off, and he's getting the extra yard. And the thing is he takes care of the ball. He's got 2 hands on the ball. He's driving his legs. And I got to tell you something. You said it last night. The kid looks like Burt Reynolds, man, in the longest yard.
Burt Reynolds from the longest yard.
He looks just like him, too. That kid's going to be...
Cheerleader's going to have to love him.
You got to love that kid. But I got to tell you, what a fantastic running back. What a fantastic, tough, gritty kid. And those kids didn't give up. I thought, once it got to the point where it was 14-0, I thought, and then it was 14-6, they got their extra point blocked. Because eventually, Neuqua scored in that second quarter, extra point gets blocked, you're thinking, man, it's just not their night. You know, things just don't seem to be going their way. And then all of a sudden, man, they come out in the third quarter and they're laying the lumber. I mean, they're just, you know, and it's all Radigan. They're like, here, Joey, take the ball. Boom. You know, and I mean, just methodically moving the ball down the field. They couldn't stop the kid. And then he would break one, you know. And, you know, 2 touchdowns that were like that, where he broke 4 or 5 tackles coming right up the gut. And ended up going 18, 20, 30-yard scores, you know.
Kind of a la John Riggins, Larry Zonka.
Exactly. I mean, he was just a classic football player. You know, old school, just bruising and take me down. And, you know, if you could beat me, great, you know. And then, you know, Wabanzi comes back, ties it up, you know. And you're thinking, wow, man, it's 20-20. You know, I mean, anything can happen. It's anybody's game. Wabanzi gets the ball back. There's like, I don't know, maybe there's 4 minutes left in the game. Wabanzi's got the ball. They're driving. They end up not, you know, shooting themselves in the foot. They can't get in the end zone. They can't, you know, they don't score. They go for it on fourth down, don't make it. You know, and now you got, you know, 2 minutes left in the game, and Nico Valley gets the ball, and they're at their own 30-yard line. They got to go 70 yards for a touchdown. Radigan again just kept, you know, they had no timeouts. I mean, they had 2 timeouts, but I mean, they burned those timeouts before they got down close. And, you know, Radigan gets the ball in tight, you know, and they go to kick this extra point. It was like an extra point, but I mean, that the fact is the pressure that this kid must have been feeling, though. But here, take a look at this game-winning field goal with 11.6 seconds left on the clock. This is a 4th down play, game-winning field goal from Neuqua Valley. Just take a look at the excitement after he hits this. So, fantastic finish for Neuqua. Congratulations. Neuqua Valley's never gotten this far in the playoffs. They never got to a quarterfinal game. They're in a semifinal game. They're going to be playing at home this week against Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel.
That ought to be, you know, Lenti.
Mount Carmel semis last year against Bolingbrook?
Yep.
Or was it quarters against Bolingbrook?
It was quarters against Bolingbrook. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, hey, listen, I think Neuqua Valley's got a chance here. I mean, you know, Mount Carmel's a big football team. They're a good football team, but Neuqua Valley's offensive line,
they average about 270,
oh my
maybe.
God, man, they're huge.
270, I think they said they average.
You just pound. I mean, they're huge. They're athletic. They're tough, and it's on a grass field, so that limits Mount Carmel's athleticism, especially if it's like it is here. You know, Mount Carmel's not. You know, they play on a turf field too. So I like Neuqua Valley at home this week, and I'm going to pick Neuqua Valley at home this week. I really didn't think that they would beat Wabanzi Valley a second time. It's real hard to beat a team twice, especially with that pressure of never being to a quarterfinal game. So I really, going into this game, didn't expect Neuqua Valley to win. They really impressed me, Coach Stone. I mean, they impressed me. And so I think, you know, I'm going to stick with this. I think Radigan is just that special of an athlete. I don't care how good your defense is. There are kids out there that you just can't stop. He's one of them. And they're gonna cram the ball down your throat, and you're gonna have to stop them. And I don't think Mount Carmel's been punched in the mouth like that in a long, long time. You know, they're a Catholic team. They understand the run game and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, man, Neuqua's no pushover here. I like Neuqua's chances. I think Neuqua's going to get 4 touchdowns in this game. I think it's going to be 28-20, 8-point game.
Let me tell you something. With an offensive line that averages 6'2", 270 on the average, a couple of them might be taller, a couple of them might be shorter, and you got Joey Young, Burt Reynolds, Radigan, good looking Italian guy. I want to say Italian, me too. Okay. What kind of formula can you win? I like to score 2. I like maybe 35-20. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And I just want to say to the Hall of Fame coach Frank Lenti, there's always the Prep Bowl.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the board back here, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, what fantastic games that we got set up. And before we leave, I you know, even though I don't cover them an awful lot, I got to point this out. Morris, you got to see Morris at the beginning of the year because they were playing Minooka. And Morris and JCA could see each other in a state final game. I actually picked it. You saw my brackets. I picked JCA Morris to be in the state championship, and it's very possible that Morris could win. Morris has got to play Springfield Sacred Heart Saturday, after beating Washington by an extra point in overtime. 28-27, they come up with a big win. So you got to give it to the kids out at Morris. Morris is a football town. Springfield's coming to Morris, and I want to see that football game. I think I may end up driving out to go see that football game just because I think it's going to be a great one. I mean, Springfield Sacred Heart last year lost to JCA in round 2 of the playoffs. I think it was a quarterfinal game that they played each other last year here at Memorial Stadium. Now Sacred Heart has to come up and play Morris. Morris is big. They're nasty. They're just old school football. Nothing fancy.
They're ground and pound.
They're ground and pound.
They're out. Their defensive line, linebackers, huge.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". A lot of them were taller and more bigger than I am. So huge. Sorry.
Well, you know what? In Sacred Heart's a spread offense. They're going to spread it. They're going to try to spread you out and throw the ball. That's what they like to do. But again, I think the weather has a lot to do with this. Them downstate boys just don't get it. And I think they're going to come up to Morris, and Morris is going to make them get it at the end of this. Morris is going to be in the state championship game. Congratulations, Redskins. I'm going to call it early. I'm going to call this game. It's not going to be a blowout because Morris is not set up to put up a lot of points on the board. They're ground and pound, 4 or 5 yards, just punch you in the mouth all the way down the field. So I think this is going to be a closer game. I do think that the weather may wreak havoc. I think I'm going to call the score 22-10, Morris.
Well, Coach Thorson, I mean, you guys have been beating people up the whole season. I'll never forget what you did to them. Your defense did to that Minooka quarterback. He beat him 6 ways from Sunday. Okay? I like your guys' run between the tackles, stop us if you dare. Springfield Sacred Heart, they're not going to stop you. I like the same score as a Rooster. Ground and pound, old school football. Love it.
Yep, so I'm going to call this 22-10. What do you call it?
22-10 too.
All right, we're going to stick 22-10. And like I said, we'll next week is going to be big for this is it. Mm-hmm. This is what everybody works for, is to get to the state championship game. Obviously, you want to get there and win, but to get there is a feat in and of itself. Good luck to all the teams. We have 8 games going on, the 8 semifinals in our 4 classes, and we wish all 8 teams the best of luck. We hope that you'll make it downstate and have a party down there when we get down there. So,
Liquor Way East, next stop, Lisle, Illinois, Benedictine College.
Yeah.
Langendorfer, Fusel and Company, Nicky Colangelo, Corbett, everybody else, go get them.
All right, man, we'll catch you next week right here, only on Cheap Seats.
Everybody out there, stay safe.